MESA, capital MESA, capital D.
The tree of liberty has been thirsty for too long. I am the spark, the powder, the match, the shot that rang, the line in the patch. I am the night they tossed the tea, the oath they swore to die free. You can chain my hands, you can break my bones, but you'll never own my soul. I am the fire in the midnight sky, the reason tyrants die. I am 1776, lightning, thunder, iron, and grit. Every musket, every fist. I am 1776. Oh, 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 oh. I am 1776. I am the flag they tried to burn, the shot that made the empire turn. I am the rebel, the Minuteman, the ink that wrote we can. We hold these truths, hear my boots on the cobblestone, hear my war cry, shake the throne, hear my drum, you know it's near, your reign of fear ends here. I am 1776, lightning, thunder, iron, and grit, every musket, every fist. I am 1776. Oh, 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 oh. I am 1776.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So we got a surprise for you, Sean, that you don't know. We got Jack Martin coming on at 9:00 today.
Oh, who's Jack Martin?
He is a new pastor for us.
Oh, nice.
And he doesn't mind some F-bombs every now and then. So
Oh, nice. Well, I'll be dropping out just at that time. So
I know, but you'll catch him. He's going to come back. You know, we're going to have him on a regular basis to take the place of Pastor Phipps, since he was not so accommodating. But I think Pastor Phipps is lobbying to get on the White House Faith Council. So that's what.
Good for him. Yeah, good for him. Good for him. He's a good guy. We
You
wish
know
him
how?
the best.
What?
Huh? What? We wish him the best.
Yeah.
Here I come to say
Oh,
good day.
Jesus gosh. Where's he at? Behind the computer?
Huh?
Were you behind the computer talking?
Yeah. No,
Throwing your voice?
Yeah, he that's the George puppet today. The real George is by you.
Yeah. We could put the George. We could send the George puppet down to George. You could put him in the seat while he was out.
Yeah. Yeah.
There was a guy
Stacy
next
said
to-
you'd be right
guy
back.
next to me on a plane.
Huh?
What's that?
What?
There was a guy on the plane that must have got a cold.
He just like goes on his own. He does his own show. George does his own show inside the show.
Oh, poor baby. He's got I think he's getting a cold from the plane ride. That's
Oh,
you know how it is when you get in
That
a
was the guy that was
tube
sitting next to
flying
me. He was like a little skinny guy. He's going like this. Me and the guy that was next to me, like. Anyway, how's
you gotta
everybody
take
doing
those.
this
What
morning?
do they call them? Airborns when you go on a plane,
Yeah, how's the mic
right?
sound?
Take those airborns. Get your
I know.
get
Well,
yourself.
I took
up.
my emergency C. I'll take them things. I'll be fine.
I think you're just allergic to me.
Yeah, every time you're on the computer, yeah.
Yeah, it goes right through the screen. So
Yes.
I told
What happened?
what?
You want me to get Want me to get what pissed off today? What?
What?
That
What?
let me tell you that MF Senator Thune just like spit out the SAFE Act and didn't want to put it out and nothing else. But there is an issue that the House can override him.
Mhm.
So
What do you mean? Let's put out the SAVE Act and nothing else.
he
That's
didn't
a
want-
good thing.
No, he didn't want it. He did. They did all the other shit. The bill that Trump signed, right? He signed everything but the sign about the what do you call?
You
The
got me
SAFE Act
lost.
wasn't in the bill. The SAFE Act wasn't in the bill at all.
No, it wasn't. They said they're
What
going
are
to
we
do it.
talking-
They're going to do it. The SAVE Act. Thune didn't. The bill that got passed to open up the
Everybody that
government.
votes is for the
Oh,
Americans.
to open up the. Oh, okay. To open up the government. Okay, now I got you. All
Yeah,
right.
that wasn't in there.
Well, is that? I mean, it could be a good thing. We always talk about separate bills. I hope this SAVE Act is a separate bill, and I hope it's
And that's what's going to
specifically
happen.
what it calls for. Well,
Well, that's what's one thing about Marjorie Taylor Greene said, and so did Matt Gaetz, and even Tim Burchett said the same thing. The bill should be approached separately, not all this shit putting it all together. Because now they agree, there was a lot of money going on, even with the stuff, with all the stuff that they're stealing from us with the Food Act and stuff like that, the SNAP program and everything. And Trump was supposed to stop everything at the sanctuary cities. That's February 1st. What happened to that one? Did he do that?
the
I
funding.
don't-
You mean? We talk about the funding.
Yeah, funding or the safe to the sanctuary cities. He
Yeah.
was supposed to stop that.
Well, we'll see what happens with that.
Yeah, I know.
Hey, I gotta repeat on something I said yesterday. I was a little wrong about Mitch McConnell. So Mitch
You
McConnell, Mitch McConnell. I said, well, we gotta, hopefully he could be all right to stay for the rest of his term. But technically, in Kentucky, if he resigns, right, even though there's a Democrat governor, the Democrat governor has to appoint a Republican, and they take the top 3 Republicans from some type of Republican committee, and that
No, I
would
didn't
be,
know that.
yeah. So in other words, there's
And I thought I knew everything.
yeah. See, I finally got you on something. So yeah. So what would happen is the Republican committee will have an executive committee to take 3 people, and then the top vote getter, I guess, in their Republican caucus would get the nod, and he or she, whoever it would be, I know it wouldn't be a them, but he or she would be a senator for a special session until the special election would come up.
But so why didn't he fucking resign? He should have resigned.
Exactly, he should resign. Exactly. I mean, it should be.
I thought he said he retired. He's going to retire after the first. Now it's to the first of the year now.
Yeah,
I
they
mean-
should be putting pressure on him to resign because he's just not there. But
Not there. I think he's got a broom handle up his ass that's keeping him up, putting up fast. I could pass the Josh Cole. He could talk about it.
I think he's got Parkinson's. That's what I think. But can I start? I'm going to say a prayer.
NTDS,
Yeah.
NTDS.
Yes, he hates Trump in the past.
Yeah.
Trump endorsed him.
Yep.
Yeah.
Go ahead, say your prayer. Sorry, I interrupted the
Yeah,
prayer.
sorry
You
about
didn't
that.
interrupt. It's okay. We're talking to. For the word of the Lord is right and true. He is faithful in all he does. The Lord loves righteousness and justice. The earth is full of his unfailing love. And that's Psalm 33, 4 through 5. So,
Amen. Good.
amen. And maybe that goes right along with Trump at the prayer breakfast. Isn't that what he's doing this morning?
Everybody's getting confused. The prayer breakfast and National Prayer Day. It's the prayer.
Yeah, I did. I get confused.
I'm just explaining because people.
I just get confused to be confused.
Yeah, it's right. It's May 6th, I think. It's going to be 2026. The prayer day is supposed to be. It's supposed to be very big. I can't say that word. The bio. What is it? Hold on.
I'll look at what.
I got it. Stop. Quiet. Semi-quincentennial year of the 250 year. Like it's not 300 year anniversary, so 250.
Semi-quincentennial.
Yeah. Say that 10 times fast.
Semi-cinquentennial. 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 You're just mad because I could say it the first time.
Can you two get along? Can we stop the quibbling?
And I thought the prayer was going to help. It didn't help.
I got discombobulated because my internet was all messed up this morning.
May 17, 2026. May 17, 2026 will be National Prayer Day.
Okay. What day?
The 17th of May, 2026. Gotcha, hey?
All right. That's coming up. So we didn't miss it yet.
Yeah.
Did you see that wacko Billie Eilish? People are saying that she donated all this money to, like, you know, she practiced what she preached, and it's been exposed. What she did was the money that she donated was on these concerts that she has. This guy exposed it. If the tickets were $200, they charged $150, and she just gave that over is what she gave away. So the money she was making on her concert, she kept. Everything else, and you know, these libs, they all try to virtue signal for something.
They forget about how the internet works. I'll tell you that much.
Internet works good. What's this?
What's what?
Oh, here we go. How long is this?
You got a
TSM put in the chat. Please share this with George. It's a Rumble. It's a Rumble video. Let me see how long it is. If it's, I gotta go through these darn commercials. It's a 4-minute video, but it's a Swedish leader warns West is asleep to Islam.
Oh, I got it. Yeah, testimony.
You see it there in the chat, George?
Yeah, I see it. Yeah, I'll get to it. I'm a member of Rumble, so I'm gonna.
Yeah, save that page.
Yeah. I'll download it. Huh? I can download it.
Denise said, "Did you see the video of the guy at her gate filming her big gate?" Yes, yeah. She should open up her gates and have open borders at her house, so people could go in and out. That would be kind of neat.
Well, I heard that the Indian tribe that she referenced when she said that it was stolen land, that they're actually filing suit against her to take possession of her house now. I don't know how true that is, but that's what I saw online yesterday.
Oh, that'd be great.
I know. I think it'd be funnier than hell. It'd serve her right for opening up her mouth like that. I don't know. I think so. Those people, all them liberals like that, they're all crazy.
Marty just said there's an article on TGP that says the Native American community says Eilish's mansion is on their stolen land. Yeah, let's.
So they're moving in.
Yeah, see how these people. I remember Bongino always saying the left ends up eating itself.
Yep,
and that's true.
Yep.
It's
true. Do you remember?
They say a lot of this. How?
Yeah, how? That's what she says.
You know, Katy Perry. That's how rotten they are. But they all talk about stolen land, but it was years ago. She tried to take over a monastery, not a monastery. What do you call it? Where it's all nuns, but the nuns were living. Maybe it is monastery, but they were living there and she wanted that place, and she actually forced him out of there. They went to court and everything, and she ended up getting that place and throwing the nuns out, and they were all senior citizen nuns. She's an awful person. So they all tried that.
They say none of this, none of that. That's what they say.
Yeah, convent.
Yeah, that's it. Convent. I couldn't think this morning.
Convent, monastery, or abbey. I never heard of abbey.
I heard it. We had our abbey by where I used to live. Yeah, little ML says she thinks it's Little Sisters of the Poor. That's who I think it was too. I just remembered all the talk about that, about her taking it over and everything. And now look at, she's with Pierre Trudeau and probably doesn't even care.
Wasn't Sisters of the Poor being attacked by the Biden administration at the time? Remember that when the Sisters of the Poor thought they were losing, they're going to lose their exemption and stuff. Remember they did attack on them in the beginning of Biden. I think the first year of Biden.
Yeah, because it was something to do with wasn't it something to do with abortion? Why he was going after them? Yep. That's what I thought too.
ML Heath said, "Abbey and monastery is for men."
Wait, but none.
What's that?
Because of none.
None nuns are in monastery or.
Let me tell you.
You don't want none. The men don't want none in there.
Let me come up with a joke.
You guys want to do the trivia question now before Jack comes on?
Yeah.
Yeah. What is the trivia question today?
I got it. It's a good one.
Oh, everybody, let's all cheer for a little clap on the computer there.
He's I don't know how you put up with him. I really don't.
I just ignore it. It goes in one ear and out the other.
Put up with him. There you go.
Thank you very much.
Applause for is that applause for you, Tricks, for putting up with him, or is that applause to George? I don't know.
It's both. Yeah, it's both. One for
sure at this point.
Yeah, you just gotta let it go. It goes in one ear, not the other. I had 3 kids. I know what it's like to ignore a kid. You know, you just
Yep. I say later. We'll do that later.
Yeah. Who is the only U.S. president who served 2 non-consecutive terms in office?
You said that one already.
Did I?
I think you did that one already.
I think you're dreaming.
No, I'm not.
I think you're dreaming.
Okay.
Well, I mean, it's Trump and somebody else, isn't it? Oh, I'm sorry. I got carried away.
Okay.
All right, Red Ginger.
Trump was 3 consecutive terms.
Trump. Well, yeah. Red Ginger, Teddy Roosevelt. Finn Clowner just said, "Is George full of piss and vinegar?"
Yes, I am.
Skunk says, "No, George is right." There you go. We got to vote for George.
Say that.
Red Ginger said,
"Oh, you're saying I did ask this before?" Well,
yes, you did.
Well, let's see if you remember the answer.
Yeah, let's see if you're paying attention. Red Ginger says, "Besides Trump, right?" Teddy Roosevelt. Denise says, "Cleveland and Grover." Chris Ceppolito says, "I actually remember it before." Remember the president or the question, Chris? I think the question, right? Skunk, GM Ladybird. Good morning, Ladybird. USN Air. Denise, Roosevelt, Ted. No, America Mark says Trump and George. Yeah, I agree with that. Denise, Grover, Cleveland. ML Heath said, "I don't remember the answer." American Mark.
Now you can't ask your trivia question because you didn't give me the damn answer. So how could I use it?
Yeah.
She sent me one, but she didn't give me the answer to it.
ML Heath, Teddy Roosevelt. There's not a lot of answers here.
Oh, we'll give you the answer tomorrow since everybody didn't remember or remembered. Tricks, you have to write these things down. You have to have.
I did.
Yeah,
go back to the video.
I got my book.
Go back to the videotape.
In there. Oh shit! I'm sorry. To hear. I thought I was being.
That's for your filing system.
Skunk says, "I say whatever Denise says." That's funny.
You
Stacy says hard Q.
guys got to give me a break on this one. I had a computer problems right
repeat,
before it got
please.
booted up. Huh?
Repeat the question for Hardman. Hardman was
Who was the only U.S. president who served 2 non-consecutive terms?
besides Trump? Let's see if Hardman has a question as an answer there. Stacy doesn't remember the question. She must have asked Billy. Did they ask that question before? And Billy says no. That must have been when Stacy. That must have been when Billy was traveling. That question must have came too. All right, so I don't see any other answers there. So I guess you close it out.
Well, there's a lot of them. There's a lot of answers to this one. Better pick another trivia question.
Oh, Red said she sent me the answer, but I just sent her a screenshot and I got the question, but no answers.
Do the question that she sent because there's too
I
many.
can't be. Okay, here's the question Red sent.
Oh, wait. So are we officially? Because this is a trivia thing. This is big on the internet. You know, are we?
Well, the whole thing is, it's because listen. There's 4. I'll tell you what. One shit.
Here's the question Red gave me.
All right, so is this a new question?
Yeah, because everybody's yelling about the other one.
All right. New question. So everybody has a new shot for victory.
Okay, what's the source of the Guacamole Act of 1917?
What's the source of the Guacamole Act in when?
Of 1917.
1917. I was going to say Tostitos.
It has something to do with Mexico.
I was going to say Tostitos, but
all right, go ahead. I got the answer. I thought it was something else. Go ahead.
Did you Google it?
No, she says what is the source of the Guacamole Act of 1917?
All right, so the first answer is skunk avocados. So I like that answer. If I didn't know, I would throw that out there too.
I tell you, I like guacamole.
USN avocados.
I think we got everybody all messed up now.
I just don't. No, you don't. We have a very intelligent chat group here. I don't understand what your problem. You're confused. Yeah, because you're confused.
I've been confused since my computer got messed up. It discombobulated me totally.
I'm talking about suicide watch. She was out it this morning.
I'm not mad at you, Red. I couldn't figure out why you kept telling me the same thing over and over again. Now I got it. That was the answer.
So let's see. So USN Air avocados. Hardman avocado seed. That's a good. That would be a source of an avocado, a seed. I'd like that.
What was the question?
What was the source?
What was the source of the Guacamole Act of 1917?
It has to be.
ML Heath says, I live in Texas. I have absolutely no idea. MK Hart says hunger. That's a good source for our guacamole is hunger.
How do you spell guacamole?
Guacamole.
Guacam.
And China avocados. So everybody's saying avocados, but I don't think that's the answer we're looking for.
No.
Denise says it's not a real act. Red Ginger says it'll be a good for Frisky Friday. American Mark, never to disappoint. Never to disappoint. His answer is Montezuma's Revenge. That's a good one, Mark. USN Air says today is Mexican and Margarita Day for us. Red Ginger says Guacamole Act of 1917. You might have first heard about it in 1979. I think you got to have Red on to discuss this act. I think
Red was messing with me, is what I think.
I think you got to have her on and have a good 15-minute segment on this Guacamole Act of 1917. Give her 19 minutes to talk about it.
We'll cover it tomorrow. I think. Are we out? Are we out of answers?
I think so. Everybody, we're just throwing stuff out there.
Yeah. Okay. We'll give you the answer tomorrow.
I can't wait.
Yeah, and tomorrow's Frisky Friday.
I can't wait. Well, since the trivia is, I got to get on to my work meeting, unfortunately, so I'm going to have to run. Tell the pastor I said hi, and I'll meet him next time.
Okay.
All right.
I'll be back every 2. We're gonna every 2 weeks.
Awesome. All right. Tell him to pray for the guacamole act for the correct answer.
Pray for the guacamole act. All right. See you later, Sean. See you tomorrow.
Bye-bye.
Take care. Good luck on your physical therapy.
No, that's yeah.
You get him in trouble. That's funny. Oh, somebody says we should do a wormhole on the Guacamole Act of 1917.
Yeah, you can do that because there's a lot on it.
Oh, there's so much. There's so much on the Guacamole Act. I'm surprised that nobody knows it.
They made a movie of it too. It was in The In-Laws. The movie The In-Laws.
I'm so screwed up this morning. Oh, this has been terrible. I couldn't. Should I tell him I couldn't load any files because my computer went this morning? You got one?
Got one.
While we're waiting for Jack, or do you want to just sit here and keep talking while we're waiting for Jack? Because I know you're going to get really pissed off about Thune. You can go on if you want to go on a rant about that. I don't know. They're saving it for later, and I don't think they're going to do it. Now he's on the phone. All right. Yeah, George is in a funny rare form today. Yeah, he sure is. Isn't he just a hoot? So I don't know what to tell you guys. I couldn't load anything this morning. Right before we started, my computer wouldn't connect to the internet, and I had a problem.
I'm back.
Yeah, we can talk about Thune. I think so.
I'm back.
Yeah, we were talking about Thune, and Skunk is calling him Thune the Goon. But I don't think he's going to bring it up for a vote again. I think that's their way of just saying they're not going to do it. And if 80% of the people want to do it and they won't do it, then I think we should primary every damn one of them out.
There's a thing about the House could override it. There's some big thing if the majority of the House that they have, they can override it.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I know. I've never heard of that before. So this would, if they do it.
Somebody told me about it this morning, so I got to look into it. I didn't do
it.
Research.
Yeah, because I've never heard of it either. So there's something to it if somebody told you that, but it's like it'd be interesting to see if that's true or not. We didn't have enough time to really look. Yeah, they're not representatives of the people anymore, Denise. Absolutely, they're not. But they're doing what they want to do.
We elect them. That's why we elect them. Did they do what they wanted to do? That's what Matt Gaetz says. They come in the end, and all of a sudden they promise you the world. They do shit.
Yeah, well, see, that's what we're pissed off about too, is the filibuster. He will not pull. He just won't do it, and there's no reason for him not to do it.
If the Democrats were in, they would use it.
Yeah, yeah, they would.
He's under McConnell's direction. McConnell gave him a check for $10 million for his campaign. So what do you think is going to happen? McConnell hates Trump. Thune hates Trump. 50% of the Senate hate Trump. That's why we got to get people in there that are for the American agenda. So,
yeah. Well, NRG says to delay is to deny. You're damn right on that one. I agree with that 100%. But Pastor Jack's here, so I'm gonna pop him on. Okay. Just letting you. Good morning. Nice to meet you.
Good morning.
Hey, Pastor Jack, what's up?
Good to see you, George. How you been, brother?
Good. Hanging in there. Just everything else, but hanging in there.
Yeah, well, we got a battle. Everybody thinks we're there. We're not close to there.
Yeah, I know. I don't know. I did. Somebody should smack Thune around a couple of times.
A few times, yeah. I want to see Ilhan Omar sent back to Somalia.
I do too. I agree with that one 100%. She needs to go back and realize how lucky she was to be here in the first place.
Jack, you know what we were talking about with Thune didn't put the SAFE Act in?
Yeah.
And I just read that, about the Senate knocking it down. It says here, yes, Congress can override a presidential veto if the 2/3 of the membership is both of the House and the Representatives and the Senate vote in favor of it. So maybe they can override it.
Yeah, I just the whole idea of thinking that we don't need voter ID. You can't buy a pack of cigarettes without it. You can't go to certain movies without it. And it's like, how in the world do you not need ID to vote for the president or the leader of your nation?
Mm-hmm.
I put up a thing yesterday. I went to Grok and just kind of typed in, "Is it normal for countries to need ID to vote?" And it came back and said basically every civilized nation in the world has it except the United States.
That's unbelievable. Isn't that amazing? Even Iraq, you put your finger in the ink, right?
Yeah, yeah.
No.
We've reached a place right now where we're going to lose our nation out of stupidity.
Oh, that's what he said. Osama bin Laden said our own laws are going to destroy us because I say that all the time.
Go back to Khrushchev. Khrushchev knew it. Americans will.
Yeah, that's right.
Actually, Abraham Lincoln knew it. He said, "If we're going to be defeated, it'll be from within."
Mm-hmm.
We're brain dead. I look at it this way. I don't think you could get that stupid in a lifetime. So it's got to have a spiritual nature to it. That it's got to be demonic. Some of the things that they do. When you look right now, with the narrative that they're creating in the Democratic side is how evil ICE is. ICE went up there legally doing their job, removing people that were illegally in the country, were attacked and defended themselves, and somehow they came out as the bad guy.
Yep.
I did a Substack article on that yesterday. That the whole idea is that every time something, they want the eyes off of that $9 billion that they stole. When you see Learning centers and they go there and there's nobody in the building, no wonder we're in the debt we're in.
And what's funny is they said now it's up to 19 billion.
Yeah, and that's Minneapolis or Minnesota. Wait till they get to California, New York, and Illinois.
They got Ohio too. They got a spot in Ohio that the Somalians were in. They opened up the same. We brought this up yesterday. We said the IQ of the Somalians are like 67, 80.
Yeah.
They're right, IQ.
Yeah.
They didn't have the intelligence to do something like that. They had to be trained by the Democrats.
Well, Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Minnesota was putting out classes telling them how to do it. I mean, how much blatant can you be than that?
Because they get all the kickbacks.
It's money laundering, and they were getting their cut out of it. That's all it was. It's pretty sad.
Ilhan got her 30 million. Well, I'd like to make 30 million in 1 year.
Yeah. Well, I remember when I put up that I'm going to open up a learning center in Somali Learning Center in Brooksville. We're going to do that.
Can I work there? Oh my word!
So give us some spiritual hope, Pastor Jack.
Well, the thing is, the Bible says righteousness exalts a nation. Sin is a reproach to any people. So you look at it as an equation. We have to get back to doing right things. What does that mean? That means taking people like Comey and Brennan and Clapper and ones like that and trying them for what they've done and, convicting them of treason. And if need be, do what the founding fathers did, literally execute them. And I know that sounds so harsh, but that's what George Washington would have done at the half of Congress already.
Yeah, 100%. Yep.
We've got to stand on godly principles. We are one nation under God. We got the Reagan saying, or if not, we'll be one nation under. And it's just, as a country, we have moved so far. Think about a country where, George, when you and I were kids, that somebody would have walked up and said, "I'm a girl" when they were a boy. If a guy would have walked in a girl's dressing room when I was a kid, the girls would have beat the snot out of him. But if they didn't, every guy in the school would have grabbed that guy and tore him up after school. Right. It's insane. There's X, Y, XX. There's no in between. We're not the place with 32 different options.
Well, that's what they try to do. I mean, other countries ain't doing this crap. A lot of them. It's a majority here that's happening. All this stuff. It's like unbelievable.
Yeah, I've got a video. It's funny. I don't have it where I could show it right now. I'll send it here. But it's a joke about an English teacher. It's a joke about an English teacher teaching foreigners about Zed and Zaid and all the different pronouns, and they all look at her like she's nuts, and she's like telling the girl, "You could be a boy," and she's like, "No, I girl." You know, it just shows you the rest of the world must think we are the stupidest people.
Well, remember when the girls were tough and stuff, we used to call them tomboys. Remember?
Yeah, yeah.
But they would still wear dresses and everything else, and they,
and they were all girls.
Yep.
You know,
I know some of them. They were pretty tough, man. I got to see. We used to have the gangs in Brooklyn. Instead of the guys fighting, all the guys fighting to each other, we used to make the girls do it. And we used to sit back.
sounds like the West Side Story. You know, it's just if we don't right the ship, though, George, we're done. And a lot of people don't realize that we lose the House or the Senate this time. And we are going to have the battle of our lifetime. Literally, I mean, you see, they're already screaming things. You saw Jerry Nadler yesterday saying maybe you should shoot these people because you don't know that they're legitimate agents. He basically was saying, like any good communist would, that it's okay to shoot them, and we'll go to that stage. You know Trevor Loudon, and Trevor does.
We had him on the show a couple of times.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he does an incredible. He does an incredible book on all the people in Congress. None of them could pass an FBI background check. Jerry Nadler has been affiliated with the Communist Party for years. You know, I remember when Joseph McCarthy, when I was going through school and learning about him, he called out the communism government in 1954. But they did what they always do. They began to make fun of them, got everybody laughing at him, made him look stupid, and diverted the attention away. And that's what they're doing right now with beating on ICE. They're turning the attention away from the fraud. I mean, I think you got the governor, I think the mayor, I think the attorney general are all guilty.
Mm-hmm.
Can I ask you a question? What do you think of all the Pizzagate stuff that's coming out with the Epstein files?
I honestly, that's the case where I wish we knew the actual truth, because my guess is that 90% of the Democratic Party would be tried for pedophile charges. Yeah. There's a lot of, I mean, all of these big name actors and stuff. It's almost like you reach a level and the only thing you have left is something. Let's do something really weird or kinky. And that's, I mean, basically that's what it is. If you see the videos with Epstein with a little 12-year-old girl sitting on his lap, I mean, I've got 4 daughters. I'd have killed the man. And I say that as calmly as I could, but yeah, it's gotta be, I wish it would get put out, but I also think it's a distraction too. I think right now everything is meant to take the eyes off of what's really going on.
Yeah, I agree too, and I think the biggest story that's being underreported is the difference between the Treasury and in the Federal Reserve right now. I mean, the Federal Reserve is getting totally destroyed, and it's almost like an undercurrent to any of the stories, and not too many people are paying attention. And like they're manipulating the price of silver and everything because the banks. What happened last week for the banks? There was 3 major things. And it was all worse than 2008, and you don't see any of it in the press at all. Nope. So all this distraction, I think, is good for Trump in a way, because then he can do what he wants between the Treasury and the Fed and really try to end the Fed. And I think that's a really good move at that point.
Yeah, I think he backed off Minneapolis a little bit because the programs he's trying to put into effect are going to require having the Senate and the House with him. And if he gets them mad now, then they vote against him on the things he's doing. I believe him. I believe when all of his policies swing into place, we're going to have an era in this country of great prosperity.
Well, did you notice what Vance was talking about when he was talking about the rare minerals and everything when they had that press conference a couple of days ago? And he was saying they're going to set the price for some of the things. Yep. And I think that was the clue right there, that they're going to be setting the price for gold and silver. So that's going to be what's going to back our currency once they end the Fed. That would be the only thing I could think of why they would be so hardcore on the mineral rights and then say something like that, you know?
Totally agree. I think we've got to get back to the gold standard.
Mhm.
I think we've made a great mistake whenever we get off of it.
Yeah, well, that's what Trump told when they started that brick thing, India and everybody else. We're not going to take your brick money, but you're going to have any products you buy off us, you got to pay in gold.
Yep.
So that because they didn't want to recognize the dollar at the time, and what
Yeah,
Trump was trying to do is collapse the dollar, which so he could bring the golden age back and destroy the Federal Reserve.
I love the way Trump deals with people. He basically gives them an offer they can't refuse. You're the godfather of Born to Ride, but I think he's America's godfather.
Yeah, he's excellent. Like I said, he's got some sense of humor, and the way he does it. And that's why I tell everybody you got to pay attention to everything he says
Yep.
because he puts little quirks out there that are like subliminal messages, but us people know what to listen for when he speaks. So that's the thing. I mean, for a guy to have two big speakers in his golf cart and has an iPad so he can listen to his music, and then when you're on Mar-a-Lago, he controls the music with his iPad as he walks around to see who's there. So I mean, it's that he's got some sense of humor, which.
I mean, everything. I love some of these AI memes that are coming out these days that are little movies. Like the good thing about Democrats is so incredibly easy to make fun of because everything they do is stupid.
Yeah.
It's either stupid.
I'm sorry. I just wanted to say, if you see me looking off to the left, I'm not ignoring you. I'm interacting with the chat and listening at the same time.
Well, that's okay. I've been ignored by many.
I have to tell everybody that because if you're not familiar, you see me turning.
Yeah.
Well, and it's good because Red Ginger said we love Pastor Jack already. So he scored some good points there.
I'm on a roll. Huh? That's I had to laugh because when I applied for the chaplaincy in the public school and got accepted, immediately the Freedom from Religion put out an article calling me a right-wing radical nutjob conservative Christian heterosexual, and it was like I my argument back was like 18 years I served as chaplain for the fire department, we never had a single complaint. What's your point? That's the thing though nowadays. Whatever, if you come up with something, George, with the bikers, you're a biker. You know how bikers are. If I come up with he's a Christian pastor, it's like they have an argument to discredit everything we say.
Yeah, well, that's the libertards that their brain mentality is. With the thing is because they don't have an answer. There was that saying: a truth doesn't mean to be challenged, but a lie does.
Yeah, exactly. Truth is not popular when
you told me that.
It might have been. I've got so many quotes, George, today. My favorite is Bonhoeffer. Silence in the face of evil is itself evil. Not to speak is to speak. Not to act is act. And I've been telling pastors for probably 35 years, you need to be a voice. God called you to be a watchman on the wall. Your silence is leaving your flock not knowing what is right or wrong because you've been silent on the issue.
Yeah, they're more worried about the power of the purse than to speak what the truth is. I mean, if remember when we did that discussion about the Black Robe Regiment, how it was.
Yeah. Some lady actually bought me a Continental Army uniform, like $400, so that I could do the Black Robe Regiment presentation where I pull off the black robe and have the uniform underneath. If people knew our nation, I mean, when they get into this whole separation of church and state, that's Thomas Jefferson telling the Danbury Baptists that the government cannot interfere. You're protected by the First Amendment. Jefferson had church in the Capitol. He used the Marine Marching Band as a worship team, and they're going to somehow try to convince you that he thought that the church shouldn't have a voice.
Well, the Democrats turned that around. They're the ones that says, "Oh, the politics can't be in the church." They're the ones that did that. And the Republicans don't fight for the truth.
Exactly. You know the story with Lyndon Johnson. He was running for senator, and H.L. Hunt down in Texas was giving him a hard time with a 501c3. Johnson goes back to D.C. and slips the Johnson Amendment into an IRS bill, and suddenly we can't talk. But for 10 years, there were 2,000 of us pastors that would record messages that violated the Johnson Amendment, and we would mail them to the IRS and challenge them to take us to court. In those 10 years, not a single pastor was ever taken to court.
Mhm.
It won't fly before the Supreme Court. It would get shot down. And now if you saw last year, the IRS now has come out and said that, oh no, we can't, stop them. Suddenly they realized that they couldn't do it.
Well, now they absorbed the IRS agents into
Yeah.
the DHS, so that's good.
Yeah.
I think what I thought about why they did that was because of RICO. If they put the IRS agents in there at this point, and there's not gonna be anybody that fights them, and they'll be able to get access to all the information and everything. And I think that's the way it's moving, where they're going after the NGOs now, because they got most of the people that they wanted to get out. I think that were high on their list for removal, and so that was the perfect thing. Because you remember that the ad they had out years ago, they were for hiring the IRS agents, they wanted you to be able to handle a gun, so you would be armed.
Yeah.
So there's a reason why. That's not like a normal requirement.
No, I think that was Obama, though. I think he had a different reason. He had replaced over 300 military leaders, and one of the prerequisites was that you had to be willing to shoot an American citizen if it was declared that they were an uprising. Mm-hmm. I believe they were ready to take us.
A lot of people didn't know that, Jack. A lot of people didn't know about that one.
Yeah, I think they were ready to take us out. I think they're ready now to take us out if they can get back in control of power.
They said they would. They got the FEMA camps are still operational and funded. And that's where we're going to all end up. If the Democrats ever come back in power, look out, because anybody that stood up against them, they're going to they'll hunt us down. Yep. I truly believe that. They have no conscience when it comes to that kind of stuff.
Yeah, but I believe the military that we have will not fall into that pit. They would have to get the Antifa little jerk-offs that are in there to fight. But we got too many gun owners that, then that's the problem, Jack. The gun owners don't vote, and even the evangelicals don't vote.
Yeah.
And that's a bad issue. We got to win. We were talking about this, that we have, that's our only weapon. Yep. You remember that speech I wrote? That's our only weapon that we have. I mean, we have the guns and everything else, which I love to use. Tell me. I got plenty of rope too, but that's what gets me more than anything. Yeah,
the silence of that's where my argument with the church, the silence of the church, were one of the biggest voting blocks in the nation. And I get so tired of pastors telling me I don't do politics. I said I don't either. I said killing a baby in the womb is a violation of the word of God. Two men being married and having sex together is a violation of the word of God. That's not politics. That's the word of God. And corrupt government is called out in Proverbs. I mean, it's the whole 9 yards. We have the voice. We should be the voice. And when our people are sitting there in congregations and they're not hearing it, they assume that it's okay. And that's on us. That will never be my problem. If anything, I'll probably one day be arrested for my views, but that's what we're doing.
Well,
yeah, they're staffing the FEMA camps. They're still staffed and everything. So there's something to them hunting us down. And like you said, as soon as you're dissenting from what their narrative is, that's when we all become the enemies of the state. We become the resistance when we're really the ones that are trying to save the country. And I think it's really sad.
That's another scenario they've tried to flip. When you see them with American flags and saying that they're we the people, I sit there and crack up laughing. But they flipped the narrative. They've made themselves as be the defender. I don't want to defend a democracy. I want to defend over the republic.
Yeah, exactly.
At the same time as we were winning our independence, France was building a democracy. And over there, they were saying guillotine off with their head. That's not what I want. This is what people don't know history. I'm glad that's coming back in our schools. People do not understand the nature. People don't know that Paul Revere, on the night that he was riding on the ride, not only was he going to warn the people that the British were coming for their guns, he was going to a church because Samuel Adams and John Hancock were staying with a Patriot pastor, and they were out trying to kill the three of them. So I mean, they don't know anything about our history.
No, and democracy truly is mob rule too. You know, and that's what you're saying, you know, just like France, you know, off with their head. Well, that's what happened over there.
Yeah.
You know, so you get them all whipped up. We could democracy would be our own demise.
Yeah, exactly.
The biggest problem is we have all the Democrats stick together and the Republicans don't.
That George, nothing has ever bothered me more than that. Because that's you even now when you see this past week there were ones who voted with the Democrats, and I'm thinking, what in the world are you doing?
And all of them too, or like people that Trump endorsed too.
A lot of that is the uniparty, the deep state.
Yeah.
Think about it this way: Donald Trump undid decades of planning to take over our country. I mean, they didn't just do that under Obama. And then you at the same time, the reason Charlie Kirk was killed, Charlie Kirk, when I was a kid in the 60s, SDS, Students for a Democratic Society, the riots at Columbia University, led by liberal professors, they turned every kid from the 60s up forward into little Democrats. And then Charlie Kirk came along and made a fool out of them. And people began to wake up, the colleges began to wake up. And when they did, they decided Charlie's got to be silenced. That's the whole story with him.
Yeah, but look what happened. Look what grew apart. What was that thing? What's that thing in the Bible about the seed when the seed is killed or something like that? I can't remember.
When one seed dies, it produces a harvest.
Yeah, so
I'm looking forward to the halftime at Super Bowl. I'm praying that nobody's watching the one that the NFL puts on.
What about that? Well, Sean said a good point that you got to actually change the channel. You can't just
because it's still reading. You're still
right.
The Nielsen ratings are still showing it is. Yeah.
So that's the thing everybody's doing. I mean, that Turning Point USA's got a special with Kid Rock and a whole bunch of people.
Well, Lee Bryce is going to be playing, and Lee Bryce's drummer is my wife's cousin's son.
No.
You know, I was trying to find the inroad with him on it, but it didn't work.
Yeah.
But it's just we've got to keep fighting. We can't get discouraged. People know the story about Thomas Paine with his letter, you know, the Sunshine Soldier. If you ever read that, Washington's in Valley Forge, it's late December. At the end of the month, half of his troops are going to go home. Their contracts to fight run out. And he needs help. Paine sits down and writes that. And to the man, they start turning around the whole army decides to stay and fight. And then they cross the Delaware and beat the Hessians. There's so much. There's a book called The Light and the Glory by Peter Marshall. And it explains our history from Columbus on forward. There's so many incidents where if it weren't for God, we would not be a republic. Even in 1812, when the British attacked Washington, D.C. and light the Capitol and the White House on fire, God raised up a torrential storm that put the fires out at the White House and the Capitol, but it also created tornadoes, and the tornadoes chased the British out of D.C. Nobody knows that. They don't ever talk about that.
No, because God had something to do with it. That's why.
David Barton is an incredible man to listen to.
What's funny is the British are still pissed off at us with the Brexit.
Well, now they're pissed off. Now they're pissed off because they're all so weak.
Yep.
When Joe Biden was in, they all looked strong. Trump's back in, and they all hate it, but they're like a bunch of little boys, you know, in the locker room that are mad because you scored 30 points and they didn't score, you know.
Mm-hmm.
That's correct, Mark. The fake Republicans. That's what the problem is. It's something.
Yeah.
When I saw those votes that they voted with the Democrats, I said, "What?" And Grassley was one of them. I just that's why the term limits have got to be in effect because this is crazy. You can't have that. And then somebody answered was, "Well, then you don't know who you're going to get." And you got to base on a lot of stuff. I mean, the stuff that's going. Everybody thinks like Florida is red state, great. Like we know the whole story about that.
We have more rhinos in D.C. than they've got in the world zoos.
That's right.
There's so many rhinos. That's what somebody was saying. What they're calling them trans Republicans. Yeah, that's good. I think it was Mark that put that. But that's what they are, because they're all uniparty. They just, they put that. It's just a label on them, but their priorities are not.
What they did in Indiana, right? Those 22 Republicans. They were going to redistrict the state, and they kind of what is wrong with these people?
It's Mike Pence. It's Mike Pence here in Indiana that's doing it. He's got too much. He's got too much pull with a lot of people yet. So you wonder how much dirt he has on some of these guys. Because a couple of them that didn't want to do the redistricting were Northwest Indiana, just under Chicago. So that could be, they're going with their constituency because those people work in Chicago and they're blue. But other than that, in Indianapolis, a little bit in Bloomington, and then Northwest is kind of blue. But the rest of the state is just, full bore solid red. And that's what blew me away, was that Mike Pence still has that much influence in the state. And he shouldn't, but his brother's is in our state Congress too.
Yeah. Even here in Florida, with everybody's pushing Renner. Back a few years, we went up to Tallahassee. We fought for the Second Amendment rights, and it was Renner that wouldn't let it come to the floor.
He was the biggest red flag law, right?
Yeah, and when I hear these guys talking about, I'm a true conservative, it's like there's nothing true conservative about voting against the Second Amendment.
He was in the House. He was in the House. He was the Speaker of the House. And what about the insurance and everything else? I mean, it's all BS. And then they were attacking Byron. Byron voted, I tell everybody, he voted 92% of the time as a constitutionalist. And that's what he is about. And he's a man of God, because you know how we became
exactly.
Christian.
Yeah.
And what do you call the golden, not the Golden Corral. What is the other one? Cracker Barrel. That's how he became. But the thing is that's important is like you said, the churches and everything else are not reaching out to these evangelicals to go out and vote, and they got to vote. We'll have so much power if they would, especially what's his name, that moron that's got the big church with tens of thousands of people there, that's got the Maserati for cars, 2 million cars.
Oh my word, yeah. You just described a whole lot of pastors.
Yeah.
Private jets,
Yeah, my hair. Let me make sure my hair is done.
Was it Joel Osteen too?
Yeah, Joel Osteen. Yeah, him. Yeah. What happened? He wouldn't let anybody in the church.
Long story with him. When I was actively still pastoring, we took missionaries out for lunch after they spoke at the church, and the guy shared that Joel's father used to support 50% of their mission trip. When Joel took over, he said, "I'm sorry, I've got to cut your funding off because we need it for television." I mean, it's a guy that just hung a missionary out to dry just so he could have a little more TV time. That's the nature of Joel Osteen.
Yeah, he's like in it for himself. It's all about Joel. It's not really all about God. That's for sure.
He's a motivational speaker. He knows how to stroke your ego, make you feel good. We don't need to feel good in America. We need to wake up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
wake up with some sort of roses.
Amen.
Unbelievable. But like you said, Jack, I've been to a lot of the places that you spoke at, and it's just unbelievable. And how many people, I know we preach to the choir.
Yeah.
But the important is, I was telling, like the show we got here, the show we have here, that does reach a lot of people on both sides, because they like to, especially me. We got, especially when you see the Facebook, I get challenged by the left a lot. Yeah. We're talking about, you're part of the liberal because you accept Social Security. I says, yeah, I put a couple of $1 million in that Social Security. The amount of money they took out of my check, I want some of my money back. It's not because of Roosevelt did it.
No, and that's totally, when they come off with that, George, you're totally wrong. That's like putting your money in the bank and later in life taking it back out. That's what you're doing.
Yeah, well, that's why they did.
It's your money.
They did for these kids for the investment, the Trump investment thing.
Yeah.
Who's there? Oh, they're talking about Kenneth Copeland too.
He's an old time one. He was big with the name it and claim it.
What about what's his name?
Jim Baker. Remember that one? That was
he got big with what's her name?
Well, at the time when they fell, now Baker and Swagger were both Assembly guy pastors. At the time that they fell, they were at the top of their game, raking in lead. The Louisiana, when When Swaggart fell, the Louisiana district allowed him to be off for 2 months and come back. The National Assembly, God told him, no, you're done. You got to do 2 years and be recovered. But because he was bringing in so much money to Louisiana, they overruled and cut it short. That's where we go wrong. I mean, these are people who are going to stand before God one day. I think that's what a lot of them forget is
what does it say in the Bible about pastors if they lead the flock?
You are more responsible than anybody else because you were called to teach the truth, and nothing. The only thing that you know me well, George. The only thing that scares me is what God says to me on Judgment Day. I'm not concerned about what any liberal says. I don't care what conservatives say. You don't know how many, like you on Facebook, how many times people have said, if you were a real pastor, if you were a real Christian, said, you don't get much more real than me. In 1979, I had a conversion that I quit drugs, alcohol, sexual.
People want to know your social media. After that, you can tell everybody.
Yeah.
Well, Jack puts out some videos on YouTube and on Rumble and stuff, but he tried to share them on Facebook, but what happens is usually if you put a link on there, they don't share it. So
you got to be careful of the name that you use.
Yeah.
Their algorithms read names. I mean, even LinkedIn's like that. The other day, I put up a Substack article on LinkedIn, and they shot it down because of the title.
Yeah,
that's a violation of our First Amendment right. That's what do you call? Chase Bank got in trouble for. They denied it. Yeah.
Chase is they do go ahead and go on your political affiliation and they will debank you. I mean, the personal experience with the way they act.
We have a gun store owner here, Steve Champion. George knows Steve. They stopped allowing him to sell guns using their credit cards because of their bank.
We stopped that. Remember Citibank? Everybody cut up their cards to Citibank.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Remember that? Yeah.
And that is the only way we get them back is when we stand together. When Cracker Barrel did their thing, I can't believe they're pushing Bud Light again. I can't believe they're pushing Bud Light again. I mean, you still got little Priscilla girl up there acting like a man, like a woman.
Did you see the new commercial they came out with the horse and the eagle?
No, but they always do. They always come out with a patriotic one at the Super Bowl.
Well, with the biker bars, when everybody picks up a Bud Light, we tell them, okay, fruitcake.
It just they play to the crowd. Mm-hmm. And I mean, you just look at when you go to an NFL game now and they sing the Black National Anthem. There is no Black National Anthem.
Right.
There's an American national anthem. It was forged out of a fort being bombed and a flag standing through it all and a victory being won. It's not about somebody that got brought over here wrongly. You got Irish people, Italian people who were brought over here the same way, Chinese people.
They hung Irishmen, right? They hung a lot of people.
Everybody went through that as they were new in the country.
Mm-hmm.
The thing is what the Democrat has done. They pulled that all. They forget all about the KKK, that with the Democrats, all that stuff, with all Democrats, how they stopped them, and how they treated them. There are movies out there that Freedom of Jones was with McConaughey, and he showed how they had 2 jars of voting, and they voted the blacks all voted Republican.
Yep.
And that's hardly Democrats. And then what happened is the Democrat won. They took all the votes out and only had 3 in that jar instead of the 100 that they had in there. And they still, the Democrats still will not accept what history. What about these senators? The amount of senators were black. They were Republicans, right?
Exactly. I mean, when they voted to free the slaves, to make them equal, when they voted to give them voting rights, it was the Democrats that voted no.
Yep.
If they would stop, and I did. That's another article I did a little bit back on that whole issue. How many things Lyndon Johnson's, Great New Deal or whatever it was, all that did was make Democrats. He made them dependent on welfare, on unemployment, on food stamps. Black Americans today that are in tune with that don't want any part of that. They know they can make it on their own.
Right. Well, Mark, what do you call Mark Robinson? There, he's a pretty good. He does a
Yeah,
lot.
yeah.
I'm
When you
surprised
when
he's
you,
ownership.
when you see right now when Chuck Schumer comes out and says the SAFE Act is Jim Crow 2.0, if you're looking at Jim Crow, you'll find a Democrats' hand were in that too.
Yeah, yeah.
It's just like they take little terms. Everything is scary tales.
Right.
Oh, the Republicans are going to do this, they're going to do that. None of it ever happens. None of it's ever proved. The problem is we're made up of emotions and we're made up of intellect, and emotions kick in before intellect. So you hear something crash in the backyard, your immediate thought is somebody's breaking into my house, and then you find out you had a chair leaning up against the fence and it fell over. We respond to a first thing. That's why they get away with all of, like up in Minneapolis. That's why they got away with all of the going to violence, is because they created us this innocent, kind woman was gunned down by this rogue cop and this nice, gentle man who didn't have a gun on him.
Yeah,
Ah,
yeah, they photoshopped him pretty good. They made him look pretty good. They did the Photoshop.
what kills me is when I go on X and I see somebody type in, don't you think that Kamala would have been a better president? I'm like, you have never watched her speak. That woman gets up there and has no idea what she's saying and just talks until she realizes she should shut up.
Yeah, didn't she buy a $10 million home in California?
I think she realized she's not going to be president and figured, look, I took $1 billion from people to run for office. I probably owe them a whole lot, but I think this $10 million house is nicer.
She's one of the top contenders to vote for the Democrat.
Yeah, but she wanted. I don't think Gavin will be either. I think you're going to see.
Oh yeah, I know that. Yeah.
I think the senator from Pennsylvania, the not John, what's his name, but the other one. I think you'll see him because he comes off as a moderate, and I think that's what they're looking for.
Fetterman?
Not Fetterman, but the other one. Cannot think of the name. I want to say Schwarzer or something like that, but
Shapiro. It's not Shapiro, is it?
Shapiro.
Oh, that's the governor.
He comes off as a gentle guy, but he's not. If you check his record, he's as liberal as the best of them.
Yep.
But they're looking for a voice that can pull moderates their way, independents their way. And I think Trump is trying to tune it down a little bit right now to hold on to moderates, to hold on to independents. But we got a battle. I mean,
those media destroys us because all the shit that they're covering in Minneapolis, saying how we killing people, the murderers. That look what they're trying to do to Kristi Noem. They want to impeach her, and she's got the balls to come out. Omar.
Yeah, but that's the thing with them. They've made famous the word impeachment. Mm-hmm. Anytime you don't agree with somebody, you impeach them. It no longer matters if they got voted into office by the people. We don't like them. We're going to impeach them. Everything they're doing right now is Trump. Let's declare the 25th Amendment. Like, the guy is sharper than 90% of us. I mean, the guy doesn't sleep. Marco Rubio's got to hide under covers on Air Force One because Trump is up tweeting. I mean, they're insane.
It's funny. I think it's funny that Rubio's right, though. I mean, Trump calls everybody out too if he thinks they're slacking. So if I was Rubio with all the jobs he's got, I'd be hiding under the blanket too because he's going to get another one.
You can't give him any more jobs than he has right now.
I want to see him do the halftime at the Super Bowl. That would be epic. Then after all this,
I agree.
Trump turned to his son who was there, and he goes, Donnie.
Yeah.
He says, I made the #1 gay song of America. #1 was YMCA.
Yeah.
He says, imagine that. I turned around a song and made it #1 for the gay people.
and made it popular and got them to back him.
Yep. Oh, yep. That's what I'm saying. The things, but the thing is that just that what's going on. But do me a favor, Jack. Share your X if you got an X account or your social media and stuff. Or we could have We should have got all that stuff and put it up.
I'll send it to you, George, and if I'm on another time with you, I'll
No, we'll send it to because people are exiting the chat. That's what.
Yeah,
they're
just I can make a banner. What's your X account?
my problem is I don't know without looking at it.
Okay. Sorry to put you on the spot then.
Wait, but here's why. Because I have 5 X accounts. Because back in the days of when they were blocking everybody, I made X accounts, I made Facebook accounts. So if they block me on one, I just went on to another one.
Yeah, we'll share. What we'll do is we'll share it tomorrow. Text it to Trixie, and we'll put it up tomorrow.
Yeah, because I mean the Rumble account has a lot of good videos.
Well, what's your Rumble? What is it under? And I'll put a banner.
I think it's the letters SOLA and then underscore and then Veritas, VERITAS. Sola Veritas. It means only the truth.
Okay, Sola VERA TIS. TAS. Okay, I'm going to put it up and you tell me if I have this right.
Yeah, people are exiting the chat. We can't let the chat down, or else they'll wind up being terrorists. We got to let them know.
Is that correct? Rumble.
I think it might be VERITAS. I'm trying to remember.
Hold on, I'll look it up. Hold on a second. I'll get it right.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't pull any punches. I say it like it is, and I get hammered by a lot of people. Oh, you're a pastor. There's nothing I say in any of those that I wouldn't stand before God on. They would have not liked John the Baptist much because he called out Herod for sleeping with his brother's wife. They didn't like Elijah because he called out King Ahab and Jezebel the harlot. So they don't like people who talk truth.
It's SOLA underscore capital V.
Wait a second. SO underscore capital V. Is it a capital S?
No, it's capital SOLA underscore V like Victor.
Is that capital?
V, yes. ERITAS. And his movies are fantastic. I watch a lot of them.
I have a lot of fun, George. But
it's
off to the side of me here, the whole wall is a big green screen wall. That's I do my videos and then put in backgrounds.
There. Do I have it correct, George, on the bottom?
Yes, that's it.
Okay. No, I don't have the underscore. I got the other mark. Dang.
No, underscore. Like
I know. I gotta redo it.
It's all good. We'll get it right.
Yeah. Well.
But it's George, how far back we both go standing up for things that are right. And I respect the daylight Saturday. You're a good friend. You were with me when I ran for Congress. We just got to keep fighting.
Yep.
And Trixie, it's good meeting you too, because I've watched your show a few times.
Jack, what do you call this? Jack Martin on Facebook. I'm gonna look for his X account. Hold on.
I wonder if I can.
I'll get it. Don't worry, Jack. I got it.
Okay, I was wondering. I don't know if I'll click myself out or what.
Yeah, don't do anything. Just stay right where you are.
Yeah, I was having trouble this morning getting on. My internet was all messed up. So I think the less we mess around with it today, is probably better.
Well, I was always good at writing lyrics, but I can't write music. But when they came out with Songer, I started putting songs together. Ones about patriotism, about Minneapolis, Charlie Kirk, all these things. The other day I went in to do one. I was doing one on the 250th anniversary of America. And suddenly I couldn't get into the program anymore. It told me the page was banned. So I had to do a whole lot of rigging around to get it back. But I want to put that song together too. There's a lot to be said in music. If you look at some of the songs that are put out today, you can get a good message out in the song. George, didn't you do a song too for your group? For the 45?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
We did one right. Then I did one for Wake Up Patriots.
Yeah, that's it. You got to give something a hook that holds on to.
Yeah, a lot of people here, they like the songs, and then like on Fridays we do a thing. It's called Losing Your Shit, and we do a reel. And what it is it's whatever like the political topic is of that week, and it's all the funny stuff that come through with all the videos and stuff like that. And then I stream them together and we do that. And we try to keep people engaged like in different ways like that. And that I think that seems to work really well.
Well, it does. People don't realize media, whether it's audio, video, that's what people sit and watch. I do the Substack articles, but I bet you a lot more people watch my videos than read the articles because reading is tedious. Got to sit there and go through it. So, I was talking to our Republican club the other night, and they're talking about how do we reach people. I said, well, why don't you have one of our more well-known young people do a podcast and have them bring guests on asking things and talking about issues? Or why don't you go to all the Republican clubs in our county, get the young men to be in a softball league and have them play in a county league and rub shoulders with people that way, get to know people. Oh, no, that wouldn't work. I said, well, you're never going to go anywhere. All you want to keep doing is dumb old man things. And I'm old. I mean, but you gotta stay young if you're gonna keep everybody.
You got Substack is pastorjackmartin.substack.com. At that one now.
Yeah. See, like with us, we got our chat that's here every single morning. And then there's a lot of people that kind of lurk, but never come and chat. And that I think is the best interaction we ever get. The whole chat group and like us, we've all been together for years from when Ed Henry had this from the very beginning. Yeah. And so last year we did a meetup in Nashville where some of the people that could come came and we did the show live from there. And that was like the most fun thing ever that and then we're going to do it again this year too. And when you engage people this way, a little bit out of the narrow, I think it's a good thing. I think it's a real good thing.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing. When people interact and people can type into the chat box things they want to say, what they're thinking. You can respond to what they're saying as well as just us talking here.
Yeah, this group, I think, what is it? I think it's been 5 years. Most of us have been together already. And so you really get to know somebody. So then it was really nice, meeting in person after such a long time. But you feel like you already know the person, even though you don't know what they look like.
Yeah, I jump on this one. I can't. George, I'll be on Facebook, and George will pop it up for a while. Usually I'm running in 50 different directions. So, but I mean, I try to grab hold of the show every time I can.
Mm-hmm. No, it's all right.
Yeah, we have to be here, so so we're here 5 days a week. But most of the people in the chat are too.
We're gonna get you back every 2 weeks, Jack. Put that in your head.
All right, not a problem. I'll do whatever you need. You partnered good with Ed Henry. He's a character. He's a good man.
Mm.
Yeah, that's what got us all together, and now we're doing it. But.
Yep.
X account is Pastor Jack Martin. It's at Jack_Martin2. That's your X account.
Good. I got so many accounts, so I don't know what they are. That's the thing. They'll block me every now and then, and they'll ask me for my password to get back on. And I'm thinking, which account was?
I know I had 2 X accounts. I was like, I had a whole bunch of followers, and then I was in the one big purge, and so I'm back on again. But now I'm not, like going around looking for people to follow me anymore. I use it more to read stuff online than interaction.
So the X account is at Jack_Martin2. MART2, not Martin. At Jack_MART2. That's your X account.
Okay, I'll have to remember that.
I got you. We're gonna do one time, Pastor Jack. One time you got to come back. You got to do. We'll talk to everybody in the chat, but we got to do the Black Robe Regiment thing, which was.
So I'll set it up where I can put on the uniform even, and I mean it gives effect to it. This lady was crazy. She called me up and said, I want you to have that for when you do it again. And I said, well, ma'am, I'm retired now. I can't afford it. She said, get it. I said, no, you don't understand. It's like $300-400. She said, get it. I'm, okay. So she bought it. So now I use it whenever I speak on the subject, but it's People just don't understand. If it were not for the Black Robe Regiment in the early days of our country, we'd still be a British Commonwealth. They were the, when you know about what happened down in Virginia, where the pastor's preaching and he comes through, there's a time for peace and a time for war, and he tears off the robe and he marches out down the aisle of the church. He's got a kid outside the church playing a drum. Every man in the church gets up, follows him out, and he goes on to be one of George Washington's top generals. People don't know any of that. Oh no, no pastor, no real pastor would do that. His brother John Muhlenberg was against him when he did it, and let him know, you're a pastor, you shouldn't do it. And then they burned down John Muhlenberg's church, and John Muhlenberg then became one of the Black Robe Regiment. He became the first Speaker of the House in the United States of America.
Who was that? Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry, I interrupted. Go ahead. Keep on going. Sorry.
No, that's okay. Go ahead.
No, who was that? Who was the one that you said his name? The Black Robe Regiment, the one that was
Peter John Muhlenberg.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah,
I think that was it. The one that he wrote a lot of stuff in about.
But even well, David Barton is one who does a great reveal on the history on that. But even in the town, I grew up in Elizabeth, New Jersey, and across this, I used to go to high school, and I'd be across the street from this Presbyterian church with a sign, Reverend James Caldwell. This guy would preach in a pulpit with 2 handguns in the pulpit in case the British came in. And they end up killing his wife. They kill his child. But he's fighting for the Battle of Springfield, New Jersey. They're running out of the wadding for their guns. And he runs back to the church and gets hymnals. And James Watts was a hymn writer. He throws hymnals to the guys and he says, give them Watts, boys. Give them Watts. They're tearing the pages out of the hymnals and using it as wadding to shoot their guns. I mean, there's just a whole lot of stuff. The pastor that on the midnight ride of Paul Revere, that same pastor took his men out into the battle. They fought the first battle, the people of his church. They were the first ones to die for the country. People don't know history.
That's a big problem.
Yeah.
That's a big problem.
We used to go every year in Washington, D.C. I'm sorry they stopped doing it. We would go every year to Tony Perkins' Family Research Council pastors event. We'd have like 1,000 pastors there. And we'd all go to our senator or congressman and voice our voice, and they'd have all the special speakers come in. Pastors would go home from that fired up, ready to go. But I mean, the average pastor, he'll tell you separation of church and state, but that's not what he really fears. He fears Joe Schmo, who puts $500 in tithe every week. And Joe Schmo's come to him and said, hey, if you keep preaching on political issues, we're going to have to go to another church. He's got a car payment of $500, so he can't afford to lose him. And that's what motivates these guys.
Yep.
I'd rather have a small congregation of faithful people than a large congregation of wishy-washy nobodies.
Yep.
Oh, absolutely. At least with the smaller congregation too, they got your back. When you get the wishy-washies and something happens, it's not usually very good. It doesn't end up well.
No, and somebody thought me bad because we trained our people. We brought in security experts and trained us how to be ready if a shooter showed up. And I have a shoulder harness, and I'd have my 9mm under my jacket every Sunday. And the joke was I wanted to have somebody walk down the aisle with a knife, ask me how's it feel to be facing down a knife. And I'd pull out my 9mm cock and say, I don't know, tell me how it feels to be looking at Sig Sauer, what happened in that church in Minneapolis never should have happened. If they had security, I hate to say it, I'd have pulled out the weapons and chased them out of the building.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they had no right whatsoever to be in there. That was totally disrespectful. It was a desecration of your worship space, all of it. And then to hold the kids way up in the nursery and stuff so they couldn't get to their parents, that's horrendous. You tell me these kids aren't going to be traumatized.
They were. If you saw the one picture they put out with the one kid in the front row, his father's coddling him. The kid is scared to death. Like these weirdos are screaming, Somebody said the only place they could have got away with that, I'm Pentecostal, would have been in a Pentecostal church because everybody's already jumping around.
Yeah.
They wouldn't
I
have
got
noticed them. They wouldn't have noticed them.
Yeah, they would have just blended right in with everybody else screaming and
Uh.
hollering and jumping. Yeah, that is a pretty good observation, though.
But when you see the reporter claiming that I was just doing journalism, he would not have known that was going to happen. He was in on it, and he
Mhm.
deserves to go to jail. That's a violation of the church's First Amendment rights. That's disturbing the peace. It's trespassing. You don't have the right to interrupt the church service.
No, no, and it's the most fundamental thing our country was built upon, and they just totally trashed it.
Yep.
It just shows you they have no respect for anybody that actually is a Christian or a Judeo-Christian. They really don't.
I mean, we're going to be the bullseye's target if they take power again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because how many are Islamists in the Democratic Party? There's openly taking swearing on the Quran to come into office and everything. We don't need that here. I'm vehemently against that. I don't think they have any right to be here on top of spreading their stuff. I don't know what I want to say, their ideology, their cultishness and everything. I don't think they should be able to. And it's not a religion. That's why I feel that way.
No, it's actually a political form of government with some fake form of religious contact. Chip Roy, if you saw Chip Roy yesterday, the other people down there in Texas, they'll come out of law saying Sharia law is not compliant with the Constitution of the United States. If they were asked what would they obey, Sharia law in the Constitution, they would say Sharia law, and that disqualifies them. Omar, the very fact that Omar married her brother should have already gotten her deported. If you took today and turned what they're doing around and put Christians in those places, Christians with 9 billion in theft, we'd all be in prison already. I mean, it wouldn't have ever been questioned.
Yeah,
agree with you 100%. It's just unbelievable, and it's not. I hope there's an ending to this. Well, let me tell you, I pray every night before I go to bed and wake up in the morning. Please let this dream be over, because it's not. And what pisses me off, I can't react the way I want to react, and I'm at that boiling point. And you know me, Jack, for a long time. I don't sit back and don't do shit.
Well, the thing of it is, if they finally ever push it to a physical confrontation or war, they're going to lose so bad, but they don't realize it.
Yeah,
it's like the guy who's punching into the chest of the karate expert. The karate expert doesn't respond because he's controlling himself, and at some point he gets hit one too many times and he breaks the guy's neck. That's what it is. They're pushing conservatives as hard as they can, and if it does ever burst, and I hate to say it, there are more guns in the hands of conservatives than there are.
I spoke and I said there's going to be deaths on both sides, but more on the left, because they don't know. We have veterans that are retired. We have patriots and there's more guns than people here. I mean, there's all the guns. There's a lot of guns that are not registered that they have.
I don't know if you remember, George, but in New York a couple of years back, there was a case where some gangster grabbed two kids on the ground, and the other gangster's there with his gun sideways, and he's shooting from like 3 feet away, and he missed him.
Yeah.
That to me is they hold their gun sideways. They just
sideways like this.
Yeah. To me, they're a joke, and it's a shame, because there are so many good Black Americans now that you see have come out in the conservative cause, but they get silenced the same way. They're called Uncle Toms.
Mm-hmm. Well, you saw that thing when President Trump went into that barbershop, right?
Yeah.
The guy they all agreed with Trump and everything else, and then they asked the old black timer about what he thought, and he says, we have to vote for our color.
Yeah,
because he's that guy. He has that, and the other guys in the barbershop say, why? Because they have that mentality that they believe that the Democrats are going to take care of them.
Yeah,
it's the biggest lie. The only ones the Democrats want to take care of is the illegals, and it's right. They abused, and a lot of black people know that they abused them for themselves.
Yeah. Well, that's it. Is the ones who have woken up and realized it now, Brexit, things like that. They realize right now that they were used, and they're calling it out. But they're immediately the race cards thrown at them. You're just an Uncle Tom, you know.
Trying to think of that guy that spoke about.
That's because that's all they have left to use.
Well, that's it. If you get rid of the race card, the homophobic card, the xenophobic card, the Islamophobic card, and they've got nothing. The other day when Melania came out, my wife and I went to see it the first day it came out. Theater was packed. I can tell you in my lifetime, there probably have been 3 times that I heard the audience give loud, rousing applause at the end of a movie. That place went nuts. I mean, it was like the place was packed. And then you look at the ratings that the liberals put out, 11%.
Oh, Rotten Tomatoes. Yeah, they trash it, but everybody loves it.
90% say great. 11% of Rotten Tomatoes say it was bad. It grossed close to $8 million. They were saying it'll never make $1 million. You know, out in Oregon, they showed yesterday. They were shown in the theater out there, but they would put up billboards that were mocking her, telling people come see this stupid first lady and things like that. And Amazon called them up and said, "Stop showing the movie. You're going to do that. Stop showing the movie." That movie is a picture of the quality and the class of the first lady in the United States of America.
What is that? 20 days before the election, right? Was it 20 days?
Yep. But I mean, you realize, George, what goes into that whole period of time. It's amazing anybody survives it.
Well, we're going to have to wrap up here because we're running out of time, but we sure appreciate you coming on and hope you'll come back in 2 weeks on a Thursday.
I'm honored, and I'll be there whenever you need it.
Yeah, we got to do that. We got to talk to the chat and see about them, about the black vote. I really, you do a great job with that. You know,
people in the chat were saying yes, please do it. I was following along.
You know, who's the guy? Who's that black guy that goes around and preaches about? The one that was with Lincoln.
Frederick Douglass.
Yeah,
I know who you mean though. It's a real good black conservative fellow who I think.
He does a great job.
3 names. Yeah, he's got 3 names. I can't. But yeah, he's. I heard him speak here in
I heard him
Hill
speak
a couple years ago.
Time, the guy's amazes me all the time.
Beautiful.
You know, it's amazing. Maybe we can get him on tours again because, and you know who's very good too, Mark Robinson. He's doing these TikToks, and he said, well, especially about the one he did for which I downloaded for Martin Luther King, exactly who he was, and it was amazing. Coming from a black man, how we spoke.
Yeah.
But Jack, thanks a lot, Pastor. Jack, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you. It was great meeting you too.
You saw a pastor also for the fire department in Hernando County, and right, all of
Spring Hill and Hernando County both.
Yep.
Thank you guys, and Trixie's great.
And he does a great job with 9/11 too. Puts everything together at the VFW.
22 years of that, George.
All right.
All right. Okay. Well, hopefully we'll see you in 2 weeks.
Thanks, brother. Appreciate you. Thank you.
God bless.
All
right. Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Great job.
Right. Yeah, very nice. Very nice. Yeah, chat's loving them. They really liked it today. So that I hope he comes back in 2 weeks. He said he would. So that's
if he doesn't come back, I'll threaten him.
That's your answer.
Make him see the Lord before he knows it. I'll tell you a funny story about this other pastor. He's a group, the Born to Ride for 45 pastor. His name is Pastor Bob. We had to do when the hurricanes hit and stuff like that, right? The hurricanes hit. We went down there with trucks. It was a black church in Arcadia that wasn't getting any supplies at all from FEMA and all that other shit. So we went down there with trucks and bring supplies, diapers, food, and everything else. So we're unloading the truck. So the Pastor Bob, is talking to the other pastor, and they're bullshitting back and forth. So I went to Pastor Bob. I said, Pastor Bob, God told me, if you don't help us unload this truck, we're going to be here a long time. And don't tell me God didn't tell you that not to do this, but I'm telling you what he told me, that you better get your ass by that truck and help us unload the truck. And the both pastors were hysterical laughing because, the way I present things sometimes. So.
All right. Well, we're going to wind down. We're going to raid Mike Schwartz's show, and we'll be back tomorrow with Frisky Friday.
Thanks, everybody. Don't forget the thumbs up, please.
Yes, thumbs up. If you do a lot of thumbs up, Pastor Jack said he'll definitely come back, and we want him to come back. So that's what I say. What do you say? Yeah. Thumbs up.
Yeah, he's a good guy. I know him a long time. I know him maybe 9 years, 10 years. 10 years I know him.
All right. Well, let's say goodbye.
Goodbye. Goodbye, everybody.